it's just a cheer me up watch in a way. You put it on and you are entertained. I even quote Russell Crowe from The Gladiator, where he asks, like, "Are you not entertained?" That should be etched into the back of this watch, which has hexagonal little statues sticking out of the dial with crystallium and gold and white gold and rose gold and 12 knights and the hilarious detached story to go along with it. It's just a fantastic watch to have on the wrist.
If you are fabulously wealthy, but also still a gamer and a tabletop gamer, figurines and dice, oh my God, does Roger Dubuis have you in mind?
So, ironic round of applause to which element of the watch industry? Watch shows?
Yeah.
Okay, round of applause. Let's round of applause to all the watch shows that we're going to cover. Both, slow hand clap. Which watch show are you most looking forward to in the next few months?
I'm politically supposed to stay neutral.
Oh, right, okay.
Yes.
You're looking forward to
and
all
emotionally?
of them unequally.
I'm emotionally, well, none of them involve us being carried around in palanquins.
Yes.
What's a palanquin?
Still remains to be a thing.
Palanquin is a throne that people carry around on sticks, like on a platform.
Is that what that's called?
That's called a palanquin, yeah.
They're rarely used in modern society unless you order bottle service at a very bougie club. And then
most of what happens at a watch show rarely happens in modern society, let's be honest. Look, they're all athletic adventures in networking and photography. That's essentially what it is. We have to organize our time, run around. There used to be a time where there was less pressure, but it's a lot of go, go, go. So it's nice to see people, but as everyone knows, we don't actually get to sit down and enjoy that time with anyone. We're with people at brands, and those all seem like Hollywood dinners where they're like looking over your shoulder. Who else is here? Who do I need to say hello to? What's going on? They check their watch all the time. They're like mentally somewhere else. So it's like, they always say like, yeah, let's sit down and talk about that complicated business deal in the middle of Watches and Wonders. You're like, what are you talking about? You're clearly not serious. If that's what you want to talk about, anything that isn't here, look at this watch, take some pictures, promise not to steal it. I'm going to go to the bathroom. It's been 7 hours.
All right, okay. David, you're already at a watch show potentially. You're certainly not in your own house. Unless it's the remodeling that's happened over the last 2 weeks that you were talking about. He's added a window, a drop ceiling.
Like you guys,
draperies change everything.
It's taking me 2.5 years. It takes David 2.5 weeks.
I am actually looking forward to Dubai Watch Week of all things. I've not been in like 6 years or something. So, and supposedly this year is the biggest and greatest. So, that's quite something to look forward to. It's very different to all the other shows and events.
Ripley, favorite watch show?
Favorite? I mean, I've never been to Dubai Watch
Let's
Week.
rephrase it. Favorite watch experience at a watch show? Like favorite memory
At Watches and Wonders, having the urge to go to the bathroom and realize that just conveniently in the way that you were walking, like the stairwell is like 30 meters to the left, and that you don't have to, like, this is not going to be an excursion. Like, you have to go downstairs but like, it's not going to be a whole journey where there's just that, oh my God, the pressure's off. We're going to be on time for the next meeting.
So you also want the palanquin. I get it.
Yeah. Could you imagine? Just clap, sir. I have a meeting at Tudor. Please.
Human foot taxi, please.
That's what they need, rickshaws to run to
I
shuttle
want to be
people
carried
around.
up and down the stairs at some point. I mean, come on. Doesn't that sound nice?
I mean, maybe that's the future. A blog to watch. Like you all wanted to wear like uniforms to Watches and Wonders. Maybe hiring a palanquin and you can carry people around in the blog to watch.
Okay, I wanted a fun uniform, not a slave job.
No, you can. I'm sure you can hire people to carry it.
Trying to explain to the Federation why you need this many media passes and it's for your manservants to carry you is just not going to go over well.
I think that would be easier for them to give extras to than actually trying to give extras. Oh, because we want to bring another journalist with us or someone to cover our social media.
Or we could just wait till public day. Come on.
Yeah. We actually want to bring some personal assistant slave types. And they'll be like, yeah, sure, of course, obviously, if you're bringing manservants, you can have as many of them as you like. Get special passes for them. They don't get to eat lunch, though. No free lunches for them.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, I think you're only
the
allowed
rules.
one manservant pass, and it's for your watch butler. That's for the high profile client. You have to. You're bringing the guy who's going to corral the timepiece for you. So your chives gets to come.
Chives gets to come. I wonder what the most ridiculous.
Wait, didn't Ripley have some crazy number of restaurants? Speaking of hard to eat and things like that are going to be at Dubai Watch Week, isn't it over 1,000?
I think it's like,
what
is it? Is it like 12? It's either 1,200 retail locations and 200 different dining options, or maybe those two numbers are reversed. But we're talking triple or quadruple digits for your number of dining options and food sources.
Sorry, I don't understand. Is that not just them counting the number of restaurants in a city?
No,
Glasgow Watch Show, and there's 1,000 restaurants at it.
No, just within the grounds. Just within the grounds of the park.
Just within the chained world of horology that is Dubai Watch Week.
Right, okay. Right. So, have they agreed the prices in these, or is this the way they're making their money back? You can't go outside the chain, boys.
So if you came as media, previous iterations of the show, you'd get like meal tickets that you could use, to get meals. And they were pretty generous about it. But yeah, there was plenty of, food that you could buy. It wasn't terribly expensive. I think it was actually pretty decent. But now, again, according to Ripley's intelligence, we're going to now have to be like, meet me at Starbucks number 17, because we know there's not going to be multiples of the same place. That's what I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm. Right, okay.
Yeah, trying to fill that many restaurants and dining locations with distinct businesses seems kind of impossible. So I'm assuming that number, in like you go to an airport, there's going to be more than one Starbucks, right? So I'd imagine that probably a similar statement would apply to this. But the number seems massive. I've never been there. I'd very much like to go, but with 200 separate dining options, meeting up with your friends is going to be difficult if you only have 30 minutes.
I just realized something. We all want to be shuttled around, and I know that Dubai has allowed like drone flying taxis.
Oh, yes,
we can be flown around from restaurant to meeting to restaurant to wherever.
But hold on a second. If you've got 200 dining options, and let's assume that each of them has got 100, that's like, let's say each can hold 100 people. If that's the way it is, if it's not, that's like 20,000 covers. There's not that many people at the show.
No, it's going to get huge.
Yeah, but 20,000 covers, if everyone eats for an hour and you're open airs day, that's like 160,000 covers.
Isn't that what Dubai likes? Lots of meals.
Build it till they come. Anyway, right, that's good.
This is what we're excited about. There'll be a lot of new. Look, it's Siddiqui's. I think it's like their 75th anniversary, and a lot of other brands are releasing stuff. It's going to be Watchpocalypse again. There's been so many Watchpocalypses just in 2025.
Okay, yeah,
it's just a lot.
Well, I need to get out of the way before the actual apocalypse, which is probably 2026.
We're talking about 200 dining options. How many are on the grounds in Pal Expo for us during Watches and Wonders? There's like outside of the media center where you can grab like some finger sandwiches or something. It's not like there are just a wealth of places for us to grab food offhand. Regardless of how many places or seats these 200 restaurants or dining locations have, it sounds like if you need to grab food going from one meeting to the other, it's going to be easy. You're not going to be fighting for a table because, as Rick mentioned, it's an astounding number of potential places that they could sit simultaneously. So just from an efficiency purpose, it sounds like this will be easier than trying to wolf down a sandwich as you run through the media center so you don't have to try to get a table.
Yeah, but what concerns me is not organizations, but countries that host big events that aren't used to hosting like big sporting events. What they do is, if there's lots of seats available, they just go out and they fill them by demanding that random people come into those locations. So I wonder whether if it's seen that there's actually all these restaurants open and there's lots of space, are you suddenly going to find like it's been filled with school children because they've closed all the local schools?
Like
so
extras?
We need people in like extras. Well, that's what happens if you're in like China and it's the Olympics and the stadium watching the cycling is not full because turns out nobody wants to watch cycling in China. Then they just call in the army, and the army get dressed up in all their civvies and go and fill all the chairs to make it look busy because it's viewed as being bad form for the stadium not to be filled.
I think Dubai Watch Week is pretty popular at this point. I don't think they're going to have that problem.
It's free and open to the public, so anyone who wants to go that can go. So I think they're trying to make it as inclusive as possible.
Cool.
I don't think they're going to need to round up people off the street.
I love the last few years when you go in the evening, you started to see like, I don't know, just like couples. Like it became like a date place. It became like a family hangout.
The last date.
He doesn't want it to be that way.
What? You don't want a trianglage?
She like escapes.
It's the real test. You know she's a keeper if she calls you back after that one.
I dated Dubai Watch Week. There we go.
Right, you brought me to Dubai. Oh, Dubai Watch Week. Oh, I didn't know you were into watches. Oh, I'm not, but he's really sweet.
Right. Well, Ariel was particularly excited about something for the show, and I don't know why, so I'm going to ask him, why are we talking about Nicolas Cage?
Why
Ariel?
not?
Well,
he should be discussed all the time.
All the time. Next week, we'll put a sign up here, number of days, like one of those signs that records when there was last an accident on site. Number of days since we last spoke about Nicolas Cage. So next week,
we never got Ryan Reynolds to respond to us, but the difference between him and Nick Cage, including a lot of performance, is an established love of watches.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing about Nick Cage is that he's not usually talked about in regard to being a watch aficionado because he was into it before it was even cool, right? Like it was just since, I don't know, as early as the 90s. And the reason that I wanted to bring it up is I was watching the recent documentary on Charlie Sheen on Netflix. And during the 90s, it was known that Charlie Sheen and Nicolas Cage were party buddies, and they had some pretty ridiculous experiences together. So in the documentary, Charlie Sheen is describing the first time he encountered Nick Cage to party. And the story was, I heard a voice I recognized, because how could you not recognize his cadence and his voice? And he was in an alley, a back alley behind a bar in West Hollywood, which was much cooler at the time than it is today. And he was like demanding that someone pay attention to his watch and saying, isn't it cool? Look at it. Don't you think it's cool? And that was Charlie Sheen's first memory of Nicolas Cage that went on to be his, party buddy. And I just love that. Because I just, maybe it's just like me wanting to live vicariously through people, but, I grew up in LA. I was there at the time, too young to be partying like that though. But the idea of partying with famous people who were genuinely excited about their watches sounds like a really nice dream. Like I would have loved to be there in that moment, because it's not about him being Nick Cage. It's about him being totally drugged out and into his watch. And I just wanted to be there to hug that moment.
Hug the moment.
He's also, because he's been into it for so long, the watches he owns are very much indicative of his own taste. It's not like the obvious celebrity like hype watches. Of course he has Daytonas, but like he was wearing a leopard Daytona early on. He's got weird little things. There's some video of him talking about a Grand Seiko, and he says tree bark like 50 times because his whole outfit is
well, so do the Japanese.
It's very Grand Seiko, and it's a tree bark inspired dial. Which
is it birch?
It's a different. I think it's a different. It's a brown one. Anyway,
dead birch tree.
I don't necessarily want to hear about rich famous guy who just bought a lot of what he thought was cool. I kind of want to hear about the dude who throughout his whole life has just been sort of buying what he likes, and at this point, some of them are like meme worthy. That photo of him kind of snarling wearing the leopard Daytona, wild photo, but like that was back when people thought that watch was ridiculous and meant for no one other than Snooki. So like, props to him. He's always stood by his tastes.
Rick, pull up the link I just sent on the chat.
I was just trying to Google it myself.
And let's remember,
if you got
that Charlie Sheen, of course, is a noteworthy watch lover. And then the first ever April Fool's we did that began my trouble period with Patek. Was the Charlie Sheen and Martin Sheen April Fool's. Oh, look at that. What a great shot.
That's a strong image.
That's a strong look. That is a strong look. That's good. So
I'm not wearing enough rings.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, then do go and either listen to us on Spotify, where you can see the moving pictures, or check us out on YouTube, aBlogtoWatch channel, or if you want to watch it all live, or just picture. Yeah, describe the picture.
Hungover-looking Nicolas Cage wearing a bunch of gem set rings and some vanity bracelets and a leopard Daytona.
That's him, pretty fresh looking. I'd say he's doing his best Nick Foulkes impression.
I was going to say it's Nick Foulkes. This is okay. Let's do a side. We need to do a side by side. Hold on. Excuse the typing. Nick Foulkes. Let's see.
Wait a minute. Nicolas Cage needs to play Nick Foulkes in the movie.
You can call me Nick.
I just want to be cast in there somewhere. I don't have to play myself.
Nick,
we've found some. Let me just try and find. There's such a variety. I need to find one.
We need to get them in the same room. I mean, that has to happen.
Oh, there we go. This is reasonably close. Let's find this.
That would be like being at CERN when the atoms clash.
Yeah,
with these two gents in the same room at the same time. That's
the one.
We discovered the Higgs boson. Is that what you mean?
There we go. There's the rings. There's no watch in this shot, unfortunately, but there's definitely a similarity.
I think that Nicolas Cage could play him very, very well. He would be top casting.
Absolutely. That's where casting begins and ends.
Yeah, there we go. Right. So Nick Cage, favorite Nick Cage movie?
All of them.
All of them.
All 705. I don't know off the top of my head. I've enjoyed so many. I mean, he's been in some bad movies, but he won't stop working. He doesn't care. He just works with interesting directors and interesting projects. It's so difficult not to respect his career.
Yeah, The Rock. It's a classic.
That's what comes to mind. You like the real mainstream ones.
Yeah.
Go watch Mandy.
Sean Connery and that. Sean Connery. Anyway, Mandy.
Yeah. Okay, great soundtrack. Really funny. Horror. The composer of the movie, it's so metal and dark. The composer of the movie soon killed himself after making the movie.
Oh, okay. That's dark. That went dark quickly. Okay.
The composer.
The composer, and it's a great soundtrack.
All right. Okay. All right. Well,
performance of a lifetime, I guess.
Let's say.
I don't think the movie is what made him unhappy, though.
Right. Let's. I'm trying to get rid of all these Nicolas Cage stuff that keeps on popping up on the screen now. Right. Let's talk about this article you penned this week. Oh, it is an article. According to Ariel, more and more watches are being sold to hobbyists and not luxury consumers. Give us the TLDR on this one.
But I want people to read it.
Yeah, well, I don't always get what you want. Sometimes you get what you need. I proceed
in this article to elaborate my argument that much, maybe not all, but much of watch sales happen to hobbyists versus what I call traditional luxury seekers. And I detail why that is and what that means. There's a really big difference between how these two communities are sold to, marketed to, and what they want. Hobbyists, for example, often do it for friendship and community, whereas luxury seekers will do it to wear something nice when they're going out on the town, not necessarily having anything to do with watches. One is sort of more fashion and lifestyle and status focused, where the other is, again, hobby, interest-based, friendship-based focused. And those groups often buy the same thing, but they need to be communicated to in different ways and marketed to in different ways. And the way that you engage with consumers and sell to them is really, really different in sort of a hobbyist industry versus a strictly luxury one. And I think that calling it what it is and using these terms and formally suggesting a shift is important because, again, this, like many industries, likes to sort of be on autopilot, likes to do things the way they've done things. And I think that a lot of people should shift their mindset who work in the industry, because what's at stake is a big disconnect between not only the people who make watches and the people who buy watches, but also the people that sell watches. And the last thing I'll say is that I think the easiest manifestation to understand from this is the disconnect between someone who's dressed in a relatively casual way, feeling good, wanting to chat about watches, goes into a luxury watch store where it's like very quiet, and everyone's in a suit, and there's just this complete mismatch. And what I say is people essentially want to buy from people that sort of talk and look like and dress like them. And we have anything but that. The biggest clash right now is between the consumer and the people selling watches. Not in all instances, but it's the most common area of friction. And it's because people are selling watches, think they're selling to a luxury audience, and people buying watches are doing so as part of a social hobby.
It's really interesting because as I think about in Glasgow or in London, the various watch stores, I think you can start to distinguish between actual shops who have managed to realize that the brands that they stock, they're selling to watch collectors, watch fans, watch geeks, versus the ones who haven't figured out that the brands they stock are not, it's not Rolex, which anybody's buying, but because their store has Zenith, Panerai, and IWC in it, unless it's in a really luxury place where you might just have a gazillionaire driving past in his Lamborghini, then actually those are also brands that really they want to be pitching to collectors of those brands rather than trying to compete against Rolex and Patek and even Omega to a lesser extent. And you can see the busy shops are the ones whereby you can go in and have a chat with the people because they are watch fans themselves versus the folk who are just professional salespeople and could be selling luxury yachts or cars or anything else.
So, as I said, you see this most manifested in friction when it comes to selling watches. And there's some instances where there's no friction at all. And that is, in my opinion, indicative of retailers understanding who they're selling to and why. So we live in an era right now where the hobbyist reigns supreme over the luxury seeker in terms of the importance of the industry. And it's not just that the hobbyist represents all the buyers. It's the hobbyist has an outsized influence on all the buyers. So the mainstream person is now listening more to a hobbyist and what their opinions are than someone making, I guess we call traditional luxury recommendations. I would say that the odd element, of course, is the sort of celebrity part of it, where celebrities wearing these watches create awareness, not necessarily convince people to buy, but create a lot of awareness. And what I'm still trying to understand is when the normal consumer sees a celebrity with a watch, they often know it's placed. But I think what's interesting to me is to study a little bit more about how they perceive that. But we know is the hobbyist especially really rejects that, does not like that. We hate it. Other media hates it. And when we're in groups with other people who like watches, that whole like watches being placed on celebrities thing, it's quite a turnoff for sure.
So do brands need to pick a lane? Would they be better off would Zenith be better off if it decided, actually, you know what, we're just trying to appeal to people who have already bought Zeniths and we'll maybe drag in a few new people while we're at it, but let's focus on the collector, the hobbyist.
They can have two different conversations at the same time.
Can they?
But they need to understand.
For a smaller brand, have they got the ability to be two-faced, not in a bad way two-faced, but you know, they're selling 40,000 watches a year, they've got a limited budget, would it be better picking a lane?
I don't know that they have so much of a choice. If you're a really small brand and you don't have broad public awareness, are you not in some sense always going to be a hobbyist watch? You're never going to be mainstream because there's never going to be enough people that know about you. You're just part of a very elite hobby.
Yes, but these brands still think that. I mean, does Norcane think it's a mainstream watch brand?
Well, I think
Bell
it's
and
about.
Ross?
I think it's about mainstream messaging and mainstream refinement. They may not think of themselves as mainstream, but they're trying to offer a very conservative, predictable experience. And the question is, what does the buyer want? Something highly original, or do they want something highly respectable and universal? And so Norcane is vacillated, but they have some watches that look super weird and crazy, and you have to sort of like be in the know to appreciate it. And they have other things, especially the early watches, that are a little bit more familiar. So I would say that brands can have simultaneous conversations and products, but they can't necessarily expect the same product and the same conversation to work with both types of audiences.
Ripley?
Yeah, I mean, for the person who's just the luxury seeker, they're not necessarily going to buy a lot of watches. They might buy enough so they can feel like they're wearing something nice, so they can impress their work colleagues or friends or whatever. But there's not going to be that internal desire to keep buying more watches. And so for the brands like AP, where the Royal Oak becomes a major status symbol and like every celebrity has one, okay, that's fine. You're going to have a lot of short-term success, but in the long run, I wonder how many of those celebrities who felt they had to get a jumbo and bought a jumbo are now buying deep into the catalog, the Code 1159s, the weird quirky offshores. That's probably not it. Those are watches geared more towards enthusiasts. And so if you spend all your time cultivating that luxury buyer relationship, you might sell a lot of watches in a very short amount of time. But if you alienate the people who are going to keep coming back to the brand, a lot of people own more than one Zenith, and they might go down that rabbit hole a bit. But if Zenith stops making interesting, different watches and kind of catering to more of that enthusiast group, they're going to reach that point where, okay, the person who wanted an El Primero had the El Primero, but they stopped giving them something new to chase after. And the person who just wanted the historic chronograph already had one. So I think, like as Ariel said, you can have the two different discussions, but at the core of it, I think all the watch companies need to realize that this is fueled by enthusiasts. There's going to be periods when a lot of people come in and out of the hobby because of economic reasons or because it's trendy. But at the end of the day, they're not going to be the bread and butter that from one year, from one decade to the other, actually keep a brand and keep it growing in prestige. That comes from the enthusiast audience. Once enthusiasts and collectors appreciate a brand, that brand becomes a lot more palatable to the mainstream audience. And I think FP Journe's a great example of that. That was sort of a weird, quirky, expensive brand. A lot of enthusiasts respected them because they do make great watches. And now it's like the hottest, like independent in that upper tier. It's one that's, everyone wants a Chronomet Blue because that's what people thought was a good deal and was like a great gem in the catalog. And those were enthusiasts who thought that first. It wasn't just like Rolex or AP where, oh, that's the hot watch and everyone knows it. So if you don't keep making those things for the enthusiasts, at a certain point, even that widespread success is just going to fizzle out. And then you're just sort of that meme brand who does that one thing.
David, any thoughts on this before we have a look at the just launched article on the website about Watches and Wonders and the brands who are actually going to try and present to us in a few months' time?
I would say let's jump to the Watches and Wonders breaking
news.
Jump
to Watches and Wonders breaking news. Watches and Wonders.
On a barge, so Piguet comes crawling back.
AP are back. Where are they going to put AP? In the old SIHH and whatever it was called before? Where would AP be in relation to Rolex? Obviously, also leaving Watches and Wonders are Bell and Ross. So there's a wee corner going next to Chanel right at the back. Do we put AP there?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, are AP normally opposite Rolex or beside Patek?
AP was not at a show with Rolex in a long, long time. So I don't know.
Is that right?
Yeah. Rolex was a Basel World and SIHH didn't have it. So AP was like next to like the few other non-Richemont brands, which was like Groupe Forcy. What was it? Illusion Ardent. Like, no, Illusion Ardent was there for a little bit, not always. Yeah, again, SIHA's kind of had like equal standing. They didn't see, there was never like any anchor boost. They all sort of like were important.
And what was the AP booth previously like? Is there an old AP booth sitting in a warehouse somewhere that's just going to come out? What's their shtick when they do big shows? Is it lots of watches? Is it a single watch in the middle? Are they going to have a huge Royal Oak hanging from the ceiling? What's their vibe?
They had impressive booths that look like a cave somewhere in nature, basically.
Okay.
These huge photographs of nature around Le Bressuire.
Mm-hmm. That's when they were obsessed with the rocks. You remember it was just like pictures of rocks everywhere.
It all comes down to Nicolas Cage. It's all about the rocks. Right. So
sure
AP,
it is.
AP are going to be there. Let's scroll down this article and see, and tell me when to stop. Where there's anything reasonable to comment on. So Arizona, that's still be fine. Bremont is on the list. Angela,
really surprising.
I thought Bill and Mercier weren't supposed to be there. Surely, if Richemont are going to drop someone from not going to the show, it should be Bill and Mercier.
To me. How do they? They are just ghosting everything. They're just around like the ghost of Baume & Mercier. And every once in a while they have this flash in the pan, basically, where they create a great looking watch that has a strong movement and a good value proposition and whatever else, and then then the whole thing just goes away for the next 4 years.
Yeah, we say like, could you tell us more about it? They're like, we are not allowed.
Yeah, Richemont is pumping the brakes hard. Like, we're never going to sell enough Cartiers if this watch is so much better at like a quarter of a price, right? You sit on an office staff, this watch is too good. You're not allowed to make it look good and be a good value for the customer. Yeah. That's my impression anyways.
They've got quite a good location that is good on the first day when everyone's walking past it. So maybe AP should go there. Berens, okay. Presumably that's going to be in the wee kind of zone where they have these wee watches. Just give us a second. I might be about to get interrupted.
Ooh. I'm excited by these brands that go bankrupt like 5 times in 8 years. I just find it hilarious.
Corum under new ownership, by the way.
Again?
Do we know what they are? Is it going to be coins or bubbles? That's the question.
I hope it's bubbles. I don't think it will. I think it's going to be mostly higher end stuff because I think Swiss people bought it again and they're like obsessed with higher prices. You know how it is. So it's going to be a lot of bridges and gold, maybe some diamonds. But I could be totally wrong. But like, I don't think they think the time is ready for the bubble to come back. I agree. It eventually has to happen. But we might see where
it just gets this very violent biological reaction from me every time I say it. It just makes me want to
like bubbles.
Just, when you're sick, but in a way where you have like this heat wave and everything else, it's just like disorientating at that point. If I look
they were
at
the
that
first Big Bang before people hated Hublot. They hated the Cora bubble.
It's not that I hate it; it just makes me sick if I look at it.
It's not that I hate it; I just hate it.
No, because hate is like you give it some thought and you realize you hate it. But
when
it elicits a visceral, sick reaction in you.
Idea, but when presented with it, my stomach erupts in a passion.
It really does.
David has got trypophobia, which is a fear of bubbles. You're a trypophobe. There you go.
It's more from like holes, isn't it? I think it's like
fear of holes.
Yeah,
it can pop at any moment.
Bulgaria at the show. But the question is,
bubbles.
Are they all there? Because normally LVMH, somebody loses out. So, but is everybody from LVMH group at the show? Tag haven't suddenly disappeared, have they?
No. So and remember, Bulgari. I didn't specifically mention this, but Bulgari, didn't they used to be at like the hotel basically? And now they're officially there.
Yeah, officially there. So Bulgaria are there. LVMH are not there as their own thing, don't think. So,
you mean Louis Vuitton?
Will be there. Yeah, Louis Vuitton. Yeah,
no, they didn't need to be.
Cartier, Chanel, Chopard, Christian Van Cloo, anyone else?
No Tiffany, also.
Genève,
no Tiffany and Company.
Eberhard and Co. That'll been
there's a lot of brands that used to exhibit outside, like Eberhard, certainly one of them, Cross Studio. They used to exhibit in the town surrounding it, but they're clearly joining the main show as well.
Norcane. That's a new one.
No.
Were they there last?
No, they were there last year.
No, were they last year? I wasn't there, so I don't know. I was.
That's where I got this.
Finished. Well, that's where you got the hat from, right? Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Panerai are there, so that's good. The show has its anchor tenant, which is always good to see.
a booth that will be entirely blue, not set up for photography, and probably have some water installment with a submarine.
And we'll have to ask with Ernest, where are the new watches?
Are these the same watches as last time? Are Zen, is this the first time at the big show? They were at the Time to Watches for. I'll look forward to seeing that. Zen might be quite fun.
They were at Basel World.
This is a better show for them. They were like the biggest brand at Time to Watches. They needed, at the last venue, they needed like a whole suite room type of arrangement. So this makes a lot more sense.
To be separated from the riffraff.
Yeah.
Where are the Japanese brands? What time do we expect them to return? In a dark, miserable corner that the Swiss put them in, or maybe on a separate floor where you have to take multiple different escalators to get to them. Where are they?
Creedor is going to be in the parking lot.
Oh, jeez.
Good
okay,
stuff.
Creedor and Grand Seiko, get it, but we are missing Citizen, we are missing Seiko, we are missing, it would be so great to have Orient, just a bunch of Casio. It would be so great to have.
Look, we went from one Japanese brand to now two Japanese, one and a half Japanese brands and a Chinese one.
Yeah. And maybe Bulgarian has a collab with a Japanese
inclusion,
architect.
David. That's diversity happening before your eyes.
Oh, yeah.
This is the DEI hire of watch shows. Right.
The question is, do you have a tourbillon? If you make a tourbillon, maybe. No tourbillon, no watches and wonders.
Okay, so from the YouTube chat, going back a bit, is producer Michael a hobbyist or a luxury show-off? I don't know.
I don't know. I think I heard of that person, but I don't know what that person is. Aren't they like a character? Are they either?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Go and check out.
Is he a real person? Like in earnest, when he's not making a video, is that actually him?
He is actually him. Yes, that is. He is what you. He is who you think he is. Whoever it is you think he is, that is what he is. There we go.
Is he not a producer?
He is a producer. AP is a one-watch brand, so they wouldn't need much space. So yeah, Bell and Ross stand might be okay for them. They
you know who's not a one-watch brand, but makes the whole exhibit about one singular SKU? Ulysses Nardon. It's a massive space, and like every year it's just one. And I kind of love that. Like there's no competing. Oh, what do you want us to shoot? There's one. There's only one, and I don't know. I think they. I'm always surprised when I look at their catalog how many cool different things they have, and a lot of it we don't often hear about. It's just, oh yeah, we made that, we still make that. We haven't touched the line in years, but it's still there.
Well, the irony for me is that they. I just realized I didn't start my backup recording. Does that matter?
It doesn't matter anymore.
Oh,
unless
good.
Unless it's completely
for months.
Sorry, I just like
unless it's completely fails.
Yes, the one time I need
matters.
The one time I need it. I'm so sorry. Please repeat the question. My technical error just completely destroyed my thought bubble. What were we talking about?
Thought bubbles where you set David into
everyone's forgotten now.
Thought everyone's forgotten. So Creedor's making a comeback, very noted. Citizen isn't on the list. Yeah, that's coming from the chat. Quorum Stand just wants to be that's a good idea. Quorum Stand, like one of those giant hamster bubbles.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. Gerard Perigo.
To see the watch, you have to go inside the bubble, David. And we're gonna have to drag you in.
So basically, Quorum. I'm sorry. So Creedor is going to be a Pokemon ball inside of Grand Seiko.
Yeah, that sounds like
it's their fighting. It's their fighting familiar.
Yeah.
No, but so Ulysses Nardon. Sorry, if they release just one watch, why don't they give the rest of their space to sister brand Gerard Perigo, who is not there, who ends up showing up in the lobby usually.
No Langenhay, no Morris Grossman, no Debuthun, no Roman Jerome. So Joseph is not going.
Roman Gauthier, not Jerome. Jerome is
Roman Gauthier, Roman Jerome is dead. He'll probably be back for them.
Those are the real misfits. I think we need to have one of those, those buddy films with just all those brands together.
So still no Omega, still no Breitling.
Breitling is definitely not going to be there anytime soon. Omega, the Swatch Group, it's like they've made a point now. They can't backtrack. They've just dug in their heels so deep, and that we refuse to go to watch shows.
It's kindergarten politics.
I don't know why it is. But I think it's already tense enough on the floor with the Richemont and LVMH people.
Really?
Throwing in the Swatch Group people. It's just
not even close to Bonzover days. That was the real tension. You could feel it. You could charge your phone just walking down whole. I'm
not saying it's never been worse, but it's definitely electric in there.
Celebrity deathmatch.
Yeah.
Hayek versus
Fight of the blue suits.
Yeah. Blue suits. Yeah. Anyway, right. Okay. So, is there anyone on that list that you're desperate to go and see who
Desperate?
hasn't been?
Like they're handing out free watches? First 100 journalists gets free automatics.
I'm not sure who there is. Yeah, it's a watch show.
I want to know why Cirrus is still there. They put no effort into innovation for as long as I can remember. Nothing against them. I used to really like that brand, but how do they continue to have the money for it but don't put any of that into watches?
I'll tell you who's not there is who's the boys that are normally got the racing car in the show.
BRM is there now.
No. They're they're in the far left with the car.
Richard Mille?
Nope. When I was last there, they had a Formula. Should have had a Formula 1 car in the corner, or it was simply a car of Formula 1-esque. Oh, what are they called?
I mean, Tag and IWC both have F1 cars at their booths.
I'm sure myself and you, Ariel, both went to the stand. It was that. I'm sure it begins with that. It'll come back to me in a minute.
Oh, you mean Rebellion?
Rebellion, that was the one. No, Rebellion.
Yes. Rebellion's taken a bit of time off from being in operation. A little bit of a well-deserved break, but they'll be back.
Rebellion at one point sponsored the Alfa Romeo Formula 1 team. They had thematic models based on the drivers, and then they just decided to take some time off, a brief hiatus. I haven't heard a thing about them, but there was a moment when they were quite prominent.
I have some insider information that I'm not allowed to remark on. Let's just say they could be back at some point.
Okay. Right. Well, let's talk about a watch. Let's talk about, something that we could all aspire to that's fairly run-of-the-mill and generic. Let's talk about the hands-on Roger Dubuis Excalibur Knights of the Round Table, the Enchanter Merlin watch. I know Dave's going to be desperate to talk about this. Perfectly affordable, perfect reasonable, everyday wearer for down on the farm. Go for it, David. I suspect you quite like this watch.
Yeah, I'm when I put this on, I was immediately extremely envious of everybody who gets to wear this anytime they want. It's just a cheer me up watch in a way. You put it on and you are entertained. I even quote Russell Crowe from The Gladiator where he asks, are you not entertained? That should be etched into the back of this watch, which has hexagonal little statues sticking out of the dial with crystallium and gold and white gold and rose gold and 12 knights and the hilarious detached story to go along with it. It's just a fantastic watch to have on the wrist. It really is. If your brain is as fried as mine is.
Does it wear well? Oh, is it partly see-through as well? I hadn't appreciated that.
Look at it. It's great.
I still think it's the ultimate game for the hex board tabletop game role player. If you are fabulously wealthy, but also still a gamer and a tabletop gamer, with figurines and dice, oh my God, does Roger Dubuis have you in mind? And they keep making more watches, so you have multiple watches to show off to your friends and your dungeon master.
There's Knights with and without the table. They've completely gotten rid of the table on some of the newer ones, but I think without the table, it gets a lot more creative. Like,
David, explain the theme.
Yeah, they're summoning like ore and mana from the ground is what it looks like, or like a beehive right here. It's awesome. I can't tell you what the story is, but
your
it looks
story's
fantastic.
better, Ripley. Your story's better.
Look at this. How unbelievable is this watch? It's crazy. You guys have to go on aBlogtoWatch and check it out. The Roger Dubuis Knights of the Round Table, the Enchanted Merlin is the name of this watch.
So much tiny luxury.
Yeah, tiny luxury. I learned that actually Roger Dubuis organizes these Knights of the Round Table watches into books, and apparently this is book 4, so we've already missed 3. And each of them have between 3 and 4 watches in them. So there have been around 15 or so of these Knights of the Round Table watches thus far.
Really?
And all of them are amazing. And I realized how the dial actually has to compete with the Knights. And I don't know if this is a conscious or subconscious thing from Roger Dubuis, but if this was just a dial, it would be one of the most spectacular dials in a long, long time. But because it's surrounded by these 12 hand-carved solid gold knights all up in armor and stuff, of course, it sort of just blends together into this world of amazement. I love this thing.
Why haven't they done a Warhammer 40K collaboration?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That has to be a thing.
I mean,
$400,000.
without the 39% tax, my friend.
This watch says, I don't live in the Matrix. The Matrix lives on me.
Yes. It is cool. I mean, what can you do other than just accept that occasionally?
It's one of the best high-end watches to just look at. I think David has it absolutely right. There's a lot of great high-end watches, but you're like, okay, I know what time it is now. I can look away from the dial. This one, you just want to stare at, looking at these figurines and this interesting dial and all that. It gets your imagination going. And that's maybe not something you have to spend all this money on, but definitely a benefit.
Yeah, compare this to like a perpetual chronograph. It's just, even if you throw a tourbillon in, it's just, how long would you be entertained by that as opposed to this? I mean, the amount of work that goes into this dial is easily, up there with whatever complication you can imagine, other than maybe a fusee and chain or whatever. It's incredibly entertaining, even though, of course, I understand that the style is not for everybody, but to look at and to wear, it's just fantastic.
The style's for everybody, David. No one cannot like this.
Man up, Chuck. Chuck doesn't like it.
Who on earth would not want this on? A baby would want to wear it.
Yeah, but it's a low bar to clear.
If you were a tabletop gamer, but you not really want to be painting these figurines, is that not your shtick? I want to get out my little paintbrush.
That's for the.
I want to see you paint it. Yes, Rick, please.
Yeah, that's what you get to do if you're a really preferred client. They take you into their atelier and you get to paint your own 12 figures.
Yeah, and you're not allowed to leave until you finish. All I can imagine now is a baby wearing this watch and just chewing on the gold case and the white stripes.
Who was that guy that Grubel Force hired? Willard Wiggin, I think was his name, something like that. Who is that miniature painter?
Yeah,
he's like the only guy I can think of that could actually maybe paint these. There's a collaboration. Him, Roger Dubuis, Warhammer 40K. Add another crazy thing in there.
Each of them is
maybe a movement maker. Eric
So
Coudray, put a gyro tourbillon in the middle. I mean, come on.
Could we get Frank Mueller and then we can have a crazy hour version where they just like advance on each other and move instead of just being little figurines? We could have a whole war play out.
Why not?
It's
Jacques
$1.5
Dro's
million.
not doing anything. They have them come in.
They should make a table like Jacob made. Do you see that they sent a press release on a one-of-a-kind, which you can buy, and apparently they'll make more of, table of their their Godfather watch. So it's a table. It's like $400,000. Apparently, it has a bunch of motors in it, like electronic motors, to make it do all the things the watch does. Costs less than the watch still. Funny enough. But yeah, I think that Roger Dubuis could make a table of this with all the automatons and insane stuff like that. Charge $10 million for it. Come on, sky's the limit here. Go nuts, hand carve and paint everything. All automatas, all the time. They battle it out. They tell the time. They play chess. They tell the future. Whatever you want.
Okay. Right.
Okay, only I like that idea.
Well, I do. Get Urwork in, put some Nixie tubes in it, and just make it a full kit.
They want to sell to the ultra rich, lower production, spend years and years of effort on these insane pieces, charge a fortune for it. That's what the museums need.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Do you think Jacob will send one of the tables for review? I would love to just test drive a table.
I think you could ask him, sure. You're like, I want to put my feet up on it immediately.
I want to see how it deals with my coffee spills.
I don't think it actually has a flat surface anywhere to put something on.
Well, they'll presumably be floating around some hotel at Watches and Wonders trying to cheapskate it on the side. So
it'll be at the Four Seasons. That's what you can guarantee. It'll be at the Four Seasons this year.
All right, okay. So maybe they'll have tables at the Four Seasons just for Ariel. In which case, we'll try and get a photo with us all with our feet up on the table. See how that goes down. What you like? It's been a couple of weeks since I've been off. The nominated categories from last time were defunct or difficult camera brands. We had, first up was Minolta. So we wanted which watch was most like a Minolta. Are Minolta not, well...
Weren't they sold or acquired, or part of the camera division was acquired?
Yeah, I don't think
it's kind of sounding like an Eterna situation.
Yeah. So you're the photographers. Which watches most remind you of a Minolta?
Minerva.
In all things. Minerva. That's because it begins with an M.
Because it rhymes. I like Eterna very much. That's a good call, Ripley.
Eterna. So give us a reason. I know nothing about cameras. So tell me, what is it about a Minolta that evokes Eterna vibes?
Well, I think if you probably were to Google Minolta, a lot of people would be, one of the most common questions was whether or not they still make cameras. And the same would probably be set true for Eterna. And if you wanted to go, and if you wanted to go back, they're both, they both did make stuff, but I believe at some point through some financial consolidations and corporate structuring, they were sold off to other companies that still exist today. And I think the same applies for both the Minolta camera manufacturing and tech division and Eterna, who I forget recently purchased them, or the old factory for it.
So the old factory that was owned by Storz Design, is now their Swiss, is going to be their Swiss factory. Eterna is a brand name. I think it was owned by the same people that owned Corum, City Group, a Chinese company, sold off Corum, and Eterna without their factory is worth about as much as, Parmigiani without their patents. So, yeah.
Okay, good. So Eterna is for Minolta. Hasselblad, is that how you pronounce it? I think famous for their lenses, is that right? What little I know about the subject.
So, ultra high-end stuff, purchased by professionals and professional posers.
And a little bit culty. The people who shoot with them seem to be very, very eager to let you know that that's what they shoot with.
So it's a watch brand that people are keen to tell you that that's what they're wearing, because you probably can't identify that that's what it is from a distance.
You can identify it. The cameras look pretty unique.
The camera's pretty unique. I
would call it the Longa thing. It's like, oh, do you know how expensive and well made this is? Let me tell you about it.
Let me tell you, if you put which watch brand is most like Hasselblad into ChatGPT, it gives you the answer, A-Lang & Zona. So it's clearly a vibe. Vibe. Yeah,
it's definitely not a Swiss brand. It's some German, maybe like Nordic brand. Like if there was like a much more expensive Swedish brand that wasn't, heavy metal like GOS, it would be them. I don't know. George Jensen, do they still make? That's too modern looking.
George Jensen.
I think Longa is good because Longa they're very much focused on like stuff like the Zeitwerk. They make cool tech. Hasselblad's not like they're. I think Longa seems right. It's a bit stoic. It's very high end. It's a little bit culty in terms of the following, but also like you can't say they make bad products in any capacity. They're, be thrilled to have one. I'm just not playing with that income.
What
and the
about
same goes
Moser?
for Longa.
Sorta. Maybe not as much.
It's too much fun for Hasselblad.
Yeah, they don't make urine colored watches or anything.
Do they
like
produce a
fruit.
salmon dial color?
I like
Smoked
that
salmon, Rick. It's
for
smoked salmon.
Longa should adopt your slogan, Ripley. It should be like, Longa, a little bit culty.
Good. So Chives in the chat, Hasselblad's a large format. Don't know what that means, but there we go. Final camera brand was Polaroid. So who is Polaroid? So we'll be thinking has become really specialist, although maybe that's more Kodak. Or it's just cheap and cheerful, so it's more like a Swatch. What do we think?
I would say
like
Swatch
Hamilton?
Hamilton. I mean, what do Polaroid do nowadays? There you go. What Polaroid?
Probably still. So it was like what was once a revolutionary and fun consumer-friendly technology that then became outdated and now is preserved for the sake of novelty and nostalgia.
It's Belova. It's that thingy watch with the
Accutron.
Accutron. So there's a Polaroid. That's what they sell on their website. Cameras, film, printers, accessories. Let's see what a Polaroid camera actually looks. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's not really.
We should show up to Watches and Wonders with these. I'll take the Thrasher one to my meetings.
Let's do that. God. Yeah. If I go to Watches and Wonders next year, I'll bring a Polaroid camera. I think that's a stunning idea.
Bubble booth. Look at that.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
I'm glad some of us are serious about photography.
Well, I'm not. I don't even know a camera.
That's right for your Hasselblad, Ariel.
I think Polaroid. It's either that I'm going to turn up with a Polaroid camera and then like the most expensive Leica setup I can hire for a few days that just looks like it costs like $1 zillion, but then
and
just
have
use
them all
the Polaroid.
hanging around your neck,
Exactly.
Multiple cameras.
Yeah. So is it Swatch? Swatch seems too modern. Doesn't seem antiquated.
What about like Jungens? Like the Max Bill?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's a little bit of that vibe. Yes, okay. Don't think we've quite got it nailed. Yeah, who else is out there?
Has anyone just staked themselves in a really useless, outdated complication?
How to
That's
narrow
a
it
good
down?
question. What did you say?
How to narrow it down? It's like, that's like 40% of the brands.
That's basically everyone in this business.
Who's known for that one? I mean, is it Grand Seiko?
It could be. It could be Nomos.
Nomos.
Yeah. Okay. Nomos.
A little bit. Some of these, yes.
A little bit.
It's like a company that like stubbornly makes manually wound watches when everybody actually wants an automatic. Not that they don't have automatics.
Meistersinger, who's like adamant about having just one hand, and they get funky sometimes. And just like talk like, oh wow, I was not expecting that from Polaroid, and the same goes for Meistersinger some of the time. Yeah,
Meistersinger. Someone's suggesting a brand called Pulsat. Not familiar. Meistersinger's a good shout though. I like that. Yes. So shall we settle on Meistersinger? That they've got it's a one-trick pony, is what we're really saying. Polaroid's a one-trick pony. It sticks the thing. No, Ariel's not convinced. Or one more go at it.
I feel like this is more like an automatic versus manual like debate.
Right. Okay. Yeah, sort of send digital. Well, is it though? Because
it is kind of like the Nepro Solar. It is like an LED watch.
Yes, because automatic versus manual in cameras would be like traditional 35mm film versus digital. This sits off to the side from that. That's why I like the one-handed thing, the Meistersinger. Anyway, right, okay, we'll agree to disagree in a civilized fashion for a change.
Yeah, so I like the LED watches. That seems to make sense because on paper, nothing at all is practical about them anymore. It's solely for nostalgia, and the brands that have to do that solely do that. If you're not like Hamilton and just have it as like one random offer.
Okay. Right. We need topics for next week's What You Like. Who wants to have a suggestion? I was almost thinking condiments, just because, I've been moving house. So you've been having to go into the back of the cupboards to dig out the things that no one's touched for quite some time and chuck them in the bin because you're moving. Coming across random stuff, random sauces that you bought once but never used again. But I'm open to suggestions, David.
Yeah, back of the cupboard sounds good. I think that opens things up a little bit, like which brands we would put there and find there years later. So
okay, so back of the cupboard. So name something you've found in the back of a cupboard. So
for me, it's got to be a hot sauce. So you guys can select whatever hot sauce you like.
Hot sauce. So we'll have a hot sauce that's at the back of the cupboard.
We can have a hot sauce competition for brands. That's good. That's good. Spicy brands. But Aria, you're the hot sauce expert. So let's go from like hot to like really hot to just destroy your face hot.
Yeah, but it's like such a regional thing. Like someone in Europe's gonna have no idea the hot sauces I'm talking about.
That's how we learned. That's how we exchange knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, we learned about Hungarian folklore from this.
Yeah, we learned Hungarian folklore and the crazy like sailor alcohol that you can only buy in like rural Hungary. So I guess we can get kind of specific there.
So Ariel, hot sauces. Give us 3 hot sauces and we'll go and research.
Oh gosh. I mean, there's all the basic ones. Okay, the one I like, I don't know how popular it is in other places, but I like Cholula.
Cholula.
Yeah.
Her name was Cholula.
I don't think it's a lady, but actually maybe there's a chick on the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Cholula's from...
It's Tapatio who has the dude.
Maybe she's the spicy miss.
Cholula's the character from Bugsy Malone. Anyway, there we go. So Cholula sauce. What else, Ariel?
I have to choose them all?
Yeah, I don't know any hot sauces.
Yes.
There's no hot sauce in Scotland?
Well, Sriracha. That's about as hot as it gets.
Sriracha? How do you say that over there?
Sriracha? No, it's not how
Okay,
you
we'll
say
go
it.
for Sriracha.
Sriracha, okay.
There's no H in it.
And then how
There's
about
another one.
Tabasco? Let's put like a one with a staunchly different flavor profile. Like that's probably the most American condiment outside of like ketchup. Tabasco
Isn't
sauce.
Sriracha supposed to be Thai or something?
Yeah. I'm
We
saying
can
for
go
the
with
third
Tabasco
one. What about
for-
Tabasco? Like
Tabasco.
what?
Either that or
Gosh.
Worcestershire. Have you heard of Worcestershire sauce?
That's not
That's
hot
spicy?
sauce.
No, not really. It's just a sauce.
It just makes you feel
Fun
uncomfortable.
sauce.
It's not
That's
even
literally
spicy
its
enough.
slogan. It's a
just
sauce.
discounted in a bottle,
It's a
basically.
sauce. I just wanted to find out how you all pronounce Worcestershire.
Well, it's not like Sriracha.
Worcester. Yeah. It's a revenge. Sriracha. Is that? I don't know. I've never really read. And it's espresso. Anyway, so Tabasco, is that what we're saying? So Cholula, Sriracha. Is that if it's Sriracha?
No.
Am I making it worse?
A little bit.
Still not there.
Still
There's
not
so
right.
many
Okay.
novelty hot sauces out there, you know?
Okay, give us a novelty hot sauce.
Oh my God, I don't know. There's literally thousands. It's the same formulation.
Well,
There's like a
pick
novelty cover on there.
Choose,
Boy, I'm-
Ariel. Choose.
Well, we haven't talked about anything with Chipotle in there. So we got to have a good Chipotle-based hot sauce.
A Chipotle
I don't know
based,
brands,
okay.
but
Okay, so we'll do
Cholula
some
does
research.
make a variant.
Cholula, some sauce I can't pronounce. Chipotle or Tabasco. We'll come back
So
to next
as
week.
someone that likes
It's-
spicy food, am I going to be disappointed in Scotland?
Spicy. What would you got? Well, yeah. See, you have spicy. We have spicy food.
Huh?
Spicy sauce is not as big a thing
How do you make the
In
food
the-
spicy then?
But yeah.
because you make it spicy. You put the spice in the food when you make
What
it,
do you put
rather
in
than
as the
adding it to the
spice?
food.
Okay,
what
Well,
kind of
chilies,
spice?
all sorts. So, you've heard of Scotch bonnet chilies.
I have not heard of that.
You know how Scotch bonnet chilies, like very,
No.
very spicy. So, we
I mean-
do hot. We basically invented the modern curry in Scotland.
Ah,
So we do hot food, but hot food in Scotland, you tend to cook it hot rather than cook it and then add hot sauce
I want
onto
to
it to make
sweat
it
while
hot.
I'm eating it.
Well, a really hot
Yes.
Vindaloo curry. There's some of the hottest curries in the world you can get in Glasgow. So when you come
Cool.
across, we'll go and try you out in a very hot
Let's
curry.
do that.
So there we go. We'll have our own Hot Ones show. Cool. Right, let's play. Let's play. As soon as Ariel's made some signs, let's play Hit Miss Maybe. So here we go.
I'm gonna bounce now, guys. Catch you
Okay,
next
see
week.
you later, David. Cheery bye.
Bye.
Okay, we will do Hit Miss Maybe from the contents of the flyback article, courtesy of Mike. So first up is a Grand Seiko, which we're first of all going to play. Guess the price of the Grand Seiko, because I haven't done that for a while. So this is the Grand Seiko SLGW007 Blue Birch. It is the birchiest birch watch you've ever birched, according to Mike. It's blue because it's what birch looks like when the moon shines off of it. So guess the price of this. I can't tell you much more about it because by scrolling down, I'll reveal the price on this article.
10,000.
11,000.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, actually, you're right. $10,000.
Oh!
$10,000.
I really did not know.
So,
By the way,
13.4
blue birch
mil.
sounds like someone with a speech impediment trying to say bluebird.
Blue birch. Okay. So let's go.
And blue birch
to the
sounds like a very unhealthy tree.
It sounds unpleasant. Blue birch sounds like something you don't want.
Yeah.
Sounds
Sounds like a foot
uncomfortable.
disease.
Call your doctor if.
Yeah, if your birches are blue, call your doctor. I'm trying to. It says go to the Grand Seiko website, but yeah, it's a birch. Well, it's very pretty. I can't really tell you much more about it, but you know.
I mean, this looks like the white birch, like the Evolution 9 style case, but they've gone blue. And if I'm not mistaken, the lines are more horizontal than vertical, like they looked on the white birch.
I mean, it says go to the Grand Seiko website. Well, let's see how many clicks to find this watch on the Grand Seiko. We think it's an Evolution 9. So how quickly to find it? That's one click. Oh, crumbs.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're not finding this at a lineup. There's 2 clicks. White birches. Is that it? No, that's not the same watch.
No, it had a strap.
No, it's a strap. I'll discover all watches. That's 3 clicks.
So many birches.
Watch finder.
Oh, there we go.
Is that there?
Yeah,
so 4 clicks to find it. That's
next to the Sunset Mount Awate.
Yeah, so Evolution 9, manual winding, mechanical high beat, 8-hour power reserve. Yeah, it's very nice. It's small though.
Who's the market for a high beat but manual wound? Who's like, if it's an automatic high beat? No. Like who wants this? Also
Somebody
not
that
spring
does-
drive.
Somebody that doesn't really understand what they're buying. Somebody that just likes the look of blue birch at night.
Someone
Under
who
the
wants it
moon.
thinner. Seiko and Grand Seiko's movements aren't necessarily the thinnest, and I know they do it so the movements are strong and robust, whatever. But in general, I never really think of Grand Seikos as super, super svelte unless they're manually wound. So I'd assume it's sort of to give something for the people who like the Evolution 9 birch vibes, but want a more dressy kind of time only thinner creation. I'd be curious to see how these wear, but it's not $10,000. That's not cheap.
You can buy a lot of trees for that.
There's so much birch.
Yeah.
So much birch.
Rick,
so much lumber.
What is the price of birch?
What if you just wanted a birch tree?
Yeah, price of birch.
That's a good question for AI, by the way.
Don't know. Well, let's ask AI. So
Price of lumber.
Hold on a second.
How much birch can you get for the price of a blue birch?
How much birch? That sounds like a riddle. We'll ask Chives, ChatGPT.
Go birch yourself.
How much is a birch tree?
And it's like, are you talking about a Seiko?
Do you mean a young sapling would be about £25? So there you go.
You can get a lot of. You can get a forest.
I want to know for lumber.
Lumber.
Good old birch lumber.
Firewood. Birch lumber, £800 per cubic meter of sawn.
That sounds like a lot.
Yeah, so there you go. Maybe
So that's
birch
not
is
that
really,
much
really
birch.
expensive.
Maybe this watch is a good value.
After all. So, apart from that, is it a hit, a miss, or a maybe? 1, 2, 3, go. Two maybes, isn't it? Look at that card. Look at the quality of that paperwork from Ariel. That's good.
Oh, it's laminated. Very nice.
So
Got a gloss
Ariel,
to it, yeah.
Why'd you give it that vote?
I mean, it's going to be a well-made watch. It's going to look nice. It's very passable, but it's by no means my top Grand Seiko because it's not the movement I would want most. I'm not sold on the value proposition. And again, it looks like not every other watch they make, just most of the other watches they make. So I can't tell Grand Seiko what to do, but I really hope some of their desire to have volume spills over into Creedor because I think everyone agrees there's too many Grand Seiko. I want it to be more special. I want it to be a more interesting occasion when a new Grand Seiko comes out. So these are nice, but again, it's not even in my top 5 Grand Seiko movements that I'd be interested in.
I'd love to see you try and put together a top 5 of Grand Seiko watches from all the SKUs that exist.
I said movements.
Movements. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Alrighty. It's a maybe for me. It's too small. It's very nice if all the other ones didn't exist. Complete overload of birchness. Ripley.
I said it's a hit. I like that it's thinner. I think so many of them look kind of dressy that the smaller size, the thinner profile, time-only display works for it. I like that the dial motif looks more like the singular birch tree with the horizontal lines instead of like a morphic forest of birch with more of a vertical motif. Kind of nice that they switched it up. It's probably just,
switched up.
It's the nicer movements. What you're getting, it's a time-only manual wind watch. Is about as simple as you get, but it is a higher level of movement than like what you get in like the standard level, like seasons type of watches. This probably wouldn't be the Grand Seiko I would get if I had my pick of the litter, but I like this better than most, and I'm not at all bothered by the kind of oxymoron movement where you get this high beat time only manual wind type of thing. I'm kind of intrigued by it. It's probably really nice in person. God knows why they don't have proper photos of it.
Because it's Grand Seiko.
But you know, these watches, like everyone loves the way they look in person, and yet like every press packet, it's like the product photos, and then they stuck a product photo on like a Pinterest style amorphic background and called it a day. Like they should just have some really nice photos, and I think there wouldn't be these. It's probably nice in person. We would just look at it and be like, oh, look at that great dial, you know?
Okay. So we didn't do the round table. So Ariel, what are you wearing on the wrist today?
Oh, I thought you meant the Roger Dubuis round table. I'm like, that's a hit, obviously.
Oh, you're muted, I believe.
Sorry. It's a Favre Luba. I forget the model, but it's their combination of pilot, diver, chronograph.
Sea Sky?
Maybe. Oh, yeah. That sounds... No, or is it Sea Sky? Yeah, that sounds right. But air diver? I don't know. But this, I'm really digging this brown color. I'm really into brown watches now, especially since on the aBlogtoWatch survey, so few people said they wanted brown watches. So now I'm challenging it, and I want to tell everyone that brown is the color that you should be interested in. But purple and burgundy are also good. I
like brown, and it's very in theme for mocha mousse. So,
oh God, that thing, yeah.
You're just on trend, Ariel. You're without even knowing it. You're just fully embracing the Pantone color of the year.
Yeah. Ripley, what you wearing and who you repping?
Well, Veyer on the hat. I'm wearing the Watch Idiot Savant shirt from the aBlogtoWatch store. And then the watch I'm wearing is the Crafter Blue Mechanic Ocean Mark II. We had a sponsored post about these last year. Ran into the brand at the Minutes and Hours Watch Show in LA. Liked him a lot better in person. I didn't really have much of an opinion just based on kind of the press photos. Liked it a lot better in person. So I'll be writing it up for my column on Monday.
Cool. I'm in Scotland wearing a Panerai. Some chat in the from Boris. It's chat. I'm just Googling this, that birch bark is vertical, not horizontal. And the image is of a horizontal. And it turns out that it's both. From
it
what
looks
I can
better
tell
horizontal, though.
Yeah, the birch bark appears to grow vertically, but feels horizontally, but I'm open to an arborealist or someone who knows about the subject can come on the show.
This is what we're going to nitpick with them about with Graham
all arborists.
This is a brand.
All tree experts.
No, this is a brand who said like Mount Sua, whatever, Lake Sua has 15 different seasons. Now we're going to get on them about the direction of the bark. At least it's not about Mount Awate or Lake Sua. We got to give it to them for this.
They're growing in Mount Awate. So there's a selection of, so that's like horizontal.
Well, what about white birch?
That's vertical.
What about white birch? Because specifically the first one was a white birch tree. So presumably these are still white birch, but bathed in moonlight.
I like the birch leaves. Why are people so obsessed with the bark?
I love ginkgo leaves. Why don't more brands do that? I mean, they're a mess when they shed in the winter, fall, whatever. But like, I love that weird fan shape. It looks so fanciful.
Yeah, well, welcome to Arborealist Weekly. The white birch, just Googling white birch tree images doesn't seem to be solving the problem.
By the way, this is what they do in the Seiko office every day.
It's that or look out the window at Mount Awate. Just stop looking out the window. Just stop it.
Day
look
72 of Googling birch.
just look at
Do you want to see
TikTok
my Pinterest
like everybody else.
Birch?
That's probably the Arbor Day Foundation paper birch. There you go. There's horizontal. So yeah, I'm open to any arborealists out there can come and tell us all about it. Right, next watch up. These guys didn't look out the window for sure when talking about this. They looked at the telly. The Hublot Classic Fusion Chronograph UEFA Champions League Titanium. No, I'm not happy about this.
I don't even know why we covered this.
We didn't. That's the point. This is the.
It's literally
watches,
a club watch.
This is the watches we didn't cover, but we feel that somebody might be talking about and interested, and Mike gets
What did Mike see in
slightly
this?
sarcastic.
When did he see any novelty? When it was like, someone wants to know about this.
He liked the way that they incorporated the UEFA ball logo.
Yeah, I think his main thing was about. I think it was mainly about learning to pronounce UEFA. I think
Why is the guy from Virginia interested in European soccer?
I don't know. He's also pronounced it wrong because it's not it's UEFA, not UEFA. But then I say Shiratza or whatever that blooming sauce is called.
He actually did try to pronounce it in writing. That is quite odd.
Yeah, I got it wrong. But this is horrible. So let's just quickly vote on this because I don't think there's going to be much novelty. 1, 2, 3, go. Miss.
I want my Hublot World Cup watches to have full integration with the World Cup or the Champions League or whatever football tie-in they have. If it's not updating me on player injuries and all of that in smartwatch format, I'd save the co-branded thing. I want the full player in-game experience.
If I can't follow my fantasy football team while wearing the Hublot, I don't want to know. $14,500 based on an ETA chronograph. That's poor. That's poor form from Hublot. I'm sorry.
It's the Hublot for them. It's not the Hublot for us.
Yes, the Hublot for them.
We have plenty of Hublots we like. This is
lots of them.
Oh, if you made this in yellow Saxum, I would say firm hit. I don't care what's on the dial.
Oh dear. Good. Right. Well, this is a bit of an horror show. Resins times the Armory Type 9 ARM Scattering Sun. A hard pass from Mike on the article. Loves resins, but just doesn't understand what this gnarling is and is bringing to the show. I'm inclined to agree with him. Any thoughts on this?
Brown.
We say, Brown, yeah. I mean, just vote on it. Let's just get this over with. Is it a hit, a miss, or a maybe? 1, 2, 3, go. 2 maybes and a miss. I've given it a miss, and I've never thought I'd give it a Resins watch a miss, but this is horrible. This just... The whole point of resins is supposed to be sleek and smooth, and then they go and put a jaggedy bezel on it. It just doesn't make any sense. It's not what resins is supposed to be.
But if you wear this, you can ask someone if they want to see the fluting on your chocolate face.
Okay, and on that note, We'll just self-cancel here. I think would probably be the most appropriate thing to do right now. 19,000. Oh, actually, no. Actually, it's a hit because it's only $19 according to Mike. Typo alert. It's priced at $19. So actually, for $19, I would buy this. So that's fine.
We should fix that typo to $190 like it really costs.
What's its redeeming feature, Ariel?
Well, I gotta go fix that typo. Look, I mean, hey,
Ariel's now obsessed with the typo. Fluting. Who doesn't like fluting?
Brown, Hong Kong, you know.
It's all the key components to luxury.
It's not the resins I would design, but it's a store. They bought these, so. Yeah, and you know what? Benoit's coming on the show soon, so I want to be nice.
I said it's a maybe because it's different. We've seen so many resins watches that go super hard on the modern, sleek, smooth aesthetic. I don't like this better than those, but I gave it a maybe just because it's sort of interesting how they went with brown, kind of gives vintage vibes, a fluted bezel, very more classic, old-timey, and then it still has this crazy minimalist resins display. Again, not my favorite resins. I think it feels a little mismatched, but I kind of like that they were doing something different and just didn't make brown or rose gold brown version of the same watch that existed. They tried to do something different. Whether or not it does it better or different or just different, that's the big question.
Can you imagine the conversation? The armorer is like, hey, Resonance, we really like all those things you do which are unique, your movements, your design, you're such mavericks. Do you think you can make us a watch that looks more like a Rolex?
Can you give it a Datejust bezel?
Can you get a Datejust bezel, please? Can we have that with Datejust bezel?
And then that's exactly the conversation.
We'll pay, and then they're like, no, we're not going to do that. We'll pay you $19 for it. Okay, then. Right, Ariel's going to fix the typo mid-show, I suspect. So let's move on. Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical Power Reserve. Our Mike feels like it went under the radar. I've never really vibed with the Hamilton Khaki in any way, shape, or form, but it is $945 on leather or just over $1,000 on a bracelet. But is this a hit, a miss, or a maybe? 1, 2, 3, go. Maybe a hit from Ariel and something from Ripley. A hit.
It's buried.
So Ariel, why is this a hit?
Well, I actually have one on my desk right here. So
that would be why.
It's not a perfect watch. It's not like amazing in every way, but it's nice looking. It's well priced. It's, again, a movement which I think should have been an automatic. So it's manually wound. It's got a power reserve. It's got the 80 hours a power reserve on there, and it's got the indicator on there. But it's thick enough to be an automatic. So if it was appreciably thinner, I'd be like, okay, manually wound. And there's plenty of room in here. And the movement's essentially an automatic. They just took it off. And you can't even see the movement through the case back. It has a solid case back. So that's really my only reservation is why be manually wound? You don't really need to be. But other than that, what I like that Hamilton has done, even though they've been making khakis forever, they've done something really clever. There's really no two that look the same, just with a small difference. If you look closely, they vary up the case sizes. The dials all look a little different. There's different movements, but they all have a slightly different character to it. So there's no watch they make that has this exact dial without the power reserve indicator that's the same size or anything like that. So they mix it up a little bit. The funny thing is that even though this on a strap is less than $1,000 in the United States, I don't know if you can, but go to the Swiss website and see how much it costs in Swiss francs. It's actually very cheap. I think it's like 740 Swiss francs.
Yeah, they're not expensive. So let's have a look in.
But in Switzerland, a lot of the Swatch Group watches now are an amazing value, way better than going to Japan and buying a Seiko.
Yeah, so I'll share the screen for the website. So 765 Swiss francs.
65, not 45. But yeah, that's. I understand that the Swiss franc is obviously worth a lot right now, but that seems like a pretty good value.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I just don't vibe with it as a watch, which is why it's a maybe. Ripley, you give it a hit though?
I gave it a hit teetering on maybe. I just saw they added 2.45 millimeters to the thickness, which isn't great. What I kind of liked about the classic one and what the redeeming quality of it being manually wound was it was very much like a modern version of the classic kind of like mil-spec field watch. Manual wind movement, standard field watch dial, steel case, all blasted, no frills. And it was pretty thin on the wrist. You could wear it on a NATO, wouldn't stand up too much. I used to have one. I liked it quite a bit. I like the aspect of adding a power reserve indicator to it, because once you get to like the 80 hours that's offered by the H50s, you don't have to actually wind it every day. So it's sort of nice to have some representation of how much is left in the barrel there. But at 2.5 millimeters thicker, that's not ideal. That kind of changes the stance of the watch. But even still, this fills sort of a void that existed in their catalog. It's still under 12 mil, so that's not an especially thick watch. It's also a little bigger than the old like standard manual wind one, so it's going to wear that thickness a little bit better. And yeah, if you're going to buy it in Swiss francs, absolutely hit. That seems like a very reasonable price for, a Swiss watch with a mechanical movement.
Mm-hmm. Good. Right. Well, that is our show for this week. We will see what the week ahead holds for us. Thank you all for joining us in the chat. If, as ever, you have the time or inclination to listen to the live recording of the show, generally speaking, on a Tuesday around about 7:30 in the morning, then you can join the chat live and stay on for a little bit extra and actually log on earlier for a little bit extra at the beginning as well. If you listen to the full edited show, you can always watch the video version of the show at the main aBlogtoWatch YouTube channel, or if you want the pictures, you can also watch on Spotify rather than just listen on Apple. So if you want to see some pictures that go on with it, then tune into the podcast on Spotify rather than Apple Podcasts or whatever other podcaster you are using. That's us for this week. We will see you again next week, or hang on for a little bit extra time. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.